I wanted to do something a little different. Well, I don't know how different it is really. Maybe a lot of these kinds of videos exist. I know that sometimes people maybe like to show little collections, sometimes jewelry, things like that. So, I thought I was going to show some jewelry, and I still might do that in the future. But I decided I'd like to show some things from a different collection of mine, that being my Catwoman collection. I am a huge Catwoman fan. Ever since I was probably maybe a freshman in high school, I just went through a big Catwoman thing, and I was never really able to shake it. I really still collect. And when I say collect, I don't mean that I keep everything mint or anything like that. I have no intention of selling anything from my collection. I really treasure all of it, and it's just a little hobby of mine, and I hope one day to have like a little nice area where I can keep everything. Right now, they're just little things that are kind of all over my room, all over my bedroom. So I'm gonna start with this here. This is issue 1 of Catwoman's series that ran in the 90s. This came out in August 1993, and I have this entire line, or this entire run from this series. I bought it all in one fell swoop, basically. So I just wanted to show the first issue. Obviously not going to go through all of them because that would take forever. It feels like a whole box I have stored away somewhere. But actually, I haven't read through all of them. I have to admit that while I'm happy that I own this line, or this series, the writing isn't always at its best. Again, I didn't read all of it, so maybe there are some gems in there, but I didn't really find them. And I'm also not the biggest fan of 90s Catwoman in terms of her look. She's had a lot of different looks throughout the years. I even have a poster in my room that I love that shows all the different costumes that she's worn over the years. But yeah, this outfit never really made sense to me. It's not really all that functional. It doesn't really scream cat burglar to me, other than the fact that she looks like a cat. But bright purple is maybe not best color to be wearing if you're going to go into the night and being all stealthy like a ninja. Also, I was never crazy about Selena with long hair. I can't remember exactly which comic it was, but I remember specifically in one of her origin stories, it was, the point was made that she deliberately keeps her hair short so that her enemies have nothing to grab. Because really, when you think about it, it makes a lot more sense to have short hair if you're going to be in like hand-to-hand combat. So that was my biggest disappointment, I think, with Anne Hathaway. As soon as I saw the pictures, I was like, oh no, long hair. She still looked great, but and what made it worse was that she cut her hair right after that movie, and it looked really good. It looked just like Selena's haircut, the way it usually is. And that just killed me. I was like, why? But, anyway, so I certainly don't have every Catwoman comic ever created. And, I hope I'm not offending any, die-hard collectors out there who see me, rubbing this comic cover, thinking, no, you're gonna ruin it. I don't think this is worth very much, and honestly, I don't really care too much about those things. I really just enjoy having these items, and I'm really not a collector in any other way. This is a Catwoman specific obsession. Although I imagine if I had every comic that she's ever been in, I might be rich, because I think some of the early ones are worth a little bit more. But anyway, and I could also mention that while I'm quite used to it at this point, it just seems like her, we'll call them her attributes, have been getting bigger and bigger over the years. And as a female comic reader, it's just, you just learn to, you just expect it. You just kind of go, okay, well, that's pretty typical. But it became very apparent when this look came about that, yeah, it looks like she's had some enhancements, but, anyway, so, I do have a few others, but I was just gonna show this one. I also have a little book with, a collection of various Catwoman stories that I really like. I kind of regret not getting that before I started filming this. I didn't even think about it, but that's okay. Anyway. So, can you guys guess what this is? Obviously, it's Catwoman, but she got this new costume. Well, it's not new anymore. It's been around for probably since around 2000, I think. Somewhere around there. But I especially love it because, and I'm sorry, this is kind of a girl thing, and this kind of touches on what I was talking about earlier. She is zipped up. Although it looks like she's about to zip down. But, yeah, I love this costume because she's covered. She's still very feminine, very beautiful. But I just, it just doesn't make sense to me when she's walking around with her costume open in the front. I know it's, comics are geared towards men mostly, so they, it sells, I know, but I at least want it to be somewhat logical, if you know what I mean, and it doesn't really make sense to be that exposed, unless she's just, like, hot in her costume or something. I also like it because her goggles are down, which is another thing that makes sense to me. Yeah, they should probably be down most of the time. Unless she's fighting somebody, it would make sense that when she's in her costume, she'd be wearing goggles that enhance her vision during the night, so. And they're blue here. Oftentimes they're depicted as green or purple, so not sure why that changes, but and it's a decent job for a bank. I know it probably seems silly, but a lot of action figures and that kind of stuff, they look like they were rushed so much, and aside from, I think her lips are a little bit lopsided, but other than that, she looks pretty good. And again, zipped up, yay. Sorry to sound like such a prude, but it's just, yeah, she's already, she's a very sexy character, and I don't think we need to be so over the top all the time. It's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I feel like I see her costume open more than I see it zipped up. It's just like, ay, ay, ay. Anyway, I like this little thing. organize things the way that I used to. But this is dangerous because when I got it, it did spark that collector in me to go online and start looking at other things like this because above all other interpretations of Catwoman, this one is my favorite. The one from the animated series in the 90s. Anybody who grew up in the 90s probably knew this show. And it's what kind of re-sparked my interest in Batman as a teenager. I love Adrienne Barbeau as Catwoman in the cartoon. I think she did such a great job. She's only in about 5 episodes, unfortunately, which is something that even the writers in the show have admitted they kind of regret. Really showing off my nerdiness here by saying things like that, but it's true, she really was underused. She has a couple of really good episodes, a couple of really bad ones too, but I'll take what I can get. Adrienne Barbeau had a way with this character. She wasn't like overtly sexual. She was, well, obviously it's a kid's show, so she can't be. But not just that, it's also like, it's very easy for Catwoman to be depicted as very kind of corny, non-stop cat puns, you know? And not that the show doesn't have those, but she was taken more seriously, in my opinion. I recently finished playing Arkham City. Well, finished meaning, you know, the main story. And, which I was long overdue for. But the voice actress in that one for Catwoman, oh jeez, it's just, it's just way over the top. First of all, she sounds way too young in my opinion. And she just sounds like, I'm sorry if anybody's offended by this, but she talks like a call girl or something. Like, I don't get it. It's just really, and they really dialed up the cat puns on that one. It's like every single sentence she says is some kind of cat pun. So, anyway, Adrienne Barbeau in this show wasn't like that. She had this kind of, what's the word? More dignified take on it. She was treated as a character and not a caricature, if you know what I mean. And I really appreciate that. And I love her look. I love the belt. I just love it all. So this little figure will probably stay in the box. And the face isn't particularly well detailed. You want to see that. She has kind of white eyes, which is a little scary, but that's okay. I still enjoy having a collection specifically for the animated series. So this was very special to me. Great birthday gift. Let's see. Okay, we've made it to the, well, I hesitate to call this one an action figure, but the sort of toys, I guess. Although I guess you could call the last one a toy, but that's not really just can't get on board with it. Sorry, guys. It doesn't fit the character, in my opinion. And I believe, I can't think of the artist's name, but this is based on a manga, or maybe it was several of them. So obviously this has more of a Japanese look. I don't know if there's more than one, but the one that I read, or at least it was years ago, so maybe I only read some of it. But the Catwoman in that book was, I think, like an imposter. I think she was just not even really an imposter, some kind of like brainwashed character who thought she was Catwoman. So every time I look at this, it's like the misfit of my collection. It's not the costume that I love. She's got the long hair, and to me, she represents a character who's not even really Catwoman, so I just have it because, yeah, I just felt like I should. It probably wasn't that expensive. And I like to tell myself that hopefully there were other versions, like other comics from that manga artist, where it was the real Catwoman, and maybe this is her. But I still kind of look at her and say, nah, you're not the real deal. Sorry. I love the detail though. Pouch on her boot. All that cool stuff. And just the way she's, lacing up, getting ready. It's very cool. So, this is kind of silly, but again, I want everything Catwoman all the time. I'm not really discriminating, so I have a little Lego Catwoman. I think my brother went to Comic-Con one year and came home and had this for me. I think it was free. I don't know if that makes any nice sounds. Just a little Lego, so don't think it's capable of too much, but even better than that. See, I've got her. And I think this was for Christmas. Yeah, my boyfriend knows me really well. He got me this awesome Catwoman Lego figure on a rockin' purple motorcycle. I love this so much. It's like, it almost makes no sense. I mean, I'm sure she's had a motorcycle at some point, but not in the comics that I've read. I have a comic where it's an alternate universe where she trades places with Batman, and she has the Catmobile. It's so ridiculous, but this one is so cool. It's actually part of a little set. It comes with a Batman who's got this like little smile on his face that I love, and she's got this little jewel. She's getting away. I think she's gonna make it. I'm not sure. It is Batman after all, but I like to think that origin story. She's not really like her comic counterpart. I love Batman Returns, their Catwoman. It's actually a big part of what rekindled my interest in comics and all that good stuff. I had seen it before as a kid, but I saw it again as a teenager, and I don't know, I just thought she was so cool, and with her stitched costume, which I really like, and yeah, completely different origin, completely different, actually you could argue, different personality, different everything, but when she puts on the costume, it just feels like her. I can't explain it, even though she does some pretty nasty things, but the character herself does have a kind of spotty history between good and evil, so, and I especially love the soundtrack. She has a great theme in that movie that I used to listen to all the time. Yeah, wow, I am geeking out hardcore right now. I should probably censor a little bit more of this. But, yeah. And then, in the movie, there was a song written by, Danny Elfman and Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees, who I love. That's kind of a Batman and Catwoman love theme that, it was like a dream come true for me, because I already love the band. So, her arm is like a little, I never knew that before. It's like a little motion. She probably came with a whip. Yeah, I tend to lose the whips. Again, I'm not a great collector in that regard, but yeah. So, anyway. And this one is just a monster. I don't even know what this is. It's definitely a Michelle Pfeiffer, although there's no stitching. But you can just tell she's got that kind of, like, dominatrix thing going on. But, oh my god, I don't know what they did to her face. I don't know if you can see that. It's horrendous. Her eyes are like mangled. I hope I didn't pay much for this. I doubt I did. I probably picked it up at a convention at some point. Probably in some, like, dollar bin or something like that. So, yeah, she's hideous, but part of the group, so. And again, this costume, yeah, just more of this, but at least she still has her whip. I don't know how I managed to keep track of this one, but she was lucky enough to keep her whip, so yay for that. Yeah, I think I've said enough about 90s Catwoman. I really just not my favorite time, but yeah, not my favorite one. This one is Catwoman from, I think this is from Hush, based on the artwork in Hush, which was, I think at the time it was kind of a big deal, although I must say, it's not to make anybody mad, but in my opinion it wasn't the best written story. It seemed more like, kind of like how they make video games now, just jam every character in there and try to make some kind of story out of it. But Catwoman played a big part in it, and I really enjoyed that. say the artwork was good, but my issue was that I think it was Jim Lee doing the art, and maybe he's not always like this, but it kind of felt like every woman had, I don't know how to explain it, they all looked the same, and so do the men. It's like the same design, just with different palettes. Like, okay, here's Catwoman, and then there'd be Ivy, and they look just alike, only, you know, Ivy had her red hair and green skin, but if you look closely, their eyes and their whole face, it's just the same face. And the men too. I remember not really being able to tell the difference between Batman and Superman, because they both had like black hair. It's like, but it was beautifully done. It's just I need a little more, you know, like defining physical traits. I think I don't know, I'm being really nitpicky, I'm sorry. Anyway, Catwoman played a really big, well, I'm probably overemphasizing it because I loved it because she was in it, and it had a lot of Batman and Catwoman romance, and yeah, I'm a big fan of them. I'm such a girl in that way. I have geeky qualities, but I'm still a girl, and I still root for the romances. Can't help it. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I do. Although she's got crazy long Sailor Moon legs, if you look at that, they're like 3 times the length of her like torso. But I still like this look. I do. I wish she still had a whip, but that's okay. I'd like to get the other Hush figurines too. So, anyway. I hope I'm not driving anybody crazy with the fact that I don't keep these things in like glass cases. This one has kind of a funny story. Oh, I just have to say right off the bat, get it right off the bat, it's Batman. That was terrible. Yeah, as you can probably notice, I mean, as I said, I'm used to a certain, you know, enhancements on pretty much any female character in comics, be it in the comic itself or in an action figure or whatever. But I mean, come on now, it's huge. It's ridiculous. Sorry. It looks like she had a bad reaction to something. Like she got a bee sting in her butt or something. I can't even deal with that. So, other than that, I'm sorry I'm being so picky, but hey, it's just, yeah, just an observation. But this one I really like. I saw it in a comic book store one day, and when I went to the register, this is gonna sound terrible, but the man at the register said to me, "Oh, so you really like Batgirl, huh?" And I looked at him and rather politely at first, I said, "Oh, not so much, but you know, I love Catwoman," like holding up the figure like, "See, because this is Catwoman." And he was like, "Well, yeah, okay, but you know, I mean, that's Batgirl." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I wanted to like go off on him because I didn't, but I'm so sorry, this probably sounds so mean, but to me it's like, and he was the owner of the comic store. If you own a comic store and you can't tell the difference between Batgirl and Catwoman, it'd be fine if he just made a little mistake at first. I'm sure he sees this kind of stuff every day and gets sick of it, but like, I pointed out that it was Catwoman and he didn't believe me. I was like, "Hello, there's cats." She's got like a briefcase full of money and a whip, and mansion in Jersey, and just with a fistful of money from babysitting, and just going nuts, just being like anything and everything Catwoman. I suppose they are, I mean, part of my collection. I'll bring them a little bit closer so you can see. So this one is like more modern Catwoman. I guess the detail is, it's not great, but it's okay for something so tiny. And again, purple. 90s Catwoman, those faces. She's seen better days, I imagine. But the embarrassing part is I don't remember what these cost, but they were way more than they should have cost. Or maybe I shouldn't say it like that. I don't know if they're rare or what, but how much could this have really cost to make? And I honestly don't remember what I spent, but it was more than I should have, especially for things that I don't use, and I'm hardly even aware that I own, but, yeah, young and stupid, that's all I can say. So, I only have a couple more things. This one, I love this. This is just a great, like, visual representation of Catwoman. She's got her little jewel, zipped up, yay. Sorry to keep, like, bringing that up, but it's always nice to see. You know, and, like, the whip is, like, going all crazy, and I really like it. Her face looks pretty good, too. And actually, her arm fell off. I felt so bad. This was a gift, and her arm fell off like a couple days after I got it. I was like, oh, come on. But I glued it back, and I think it's okay. I just try not to touch it too much, so I can touch the good arm, I think. But, yeah. Oh, whoops. Oh, jeez. Okay. Here we go. And just being like a rooftop with her bag full of what looks to be like candy. I'm sure they're supposed to be rare gems of some kind, but honestly they just look like gumballs or bath beads. Because we all know Catwoman loves her gumballs and bath beads. So, yeah. And I know there's a bigger version of this. I used to see it sometimes, like a really nice big statue version, and one day. But for now, this is great. I'm very happy with this. I just love this look on her. It's just great. So, last and definitely not least is my most favorite item. I think I might have to move the camera for this a little bit. Sorry, it's a little jerky. Okay, so I don't want to be in the shot. As I mentioned, Catwoman from the animated series is by far my favorite interpretation. It's like, I shouldn't ramble on about that too much more. I think I already did that, but as I said, Adrienne Barbeau was fantastic. And, she had like this maturity and this, confident way, but without being like trashy or anything like that. I loved her look, even though I love her in all black. I felt like this costume was a great, like, combination of all the different costumes that she's wore, and especially a little homage to, like, Julie Newmar from the 60s, and it's just fantastic. When I got this, I was just in heaven. Like, it's beautiful. Her face is just awesome. Because there's so many times, you know, you get something and, like I've shown you, the eyes might be a little crazy. The paint job will be shoddy, but this is beautiful. I love her gloves. They're like shiny and pretty. Her boots. Yeah, just in love with this. I have a Joker one too, from the same series, which I'm very proud of as well. I'm heartbroken though, because I always wanted to have 4 of them. I've got Catwoman and the Joker, but I really also wanted to have Batman and Harley Quinn. And I remember I came very close to purchasing a Harley Quinn. I think it was only like, this is gonna sound like a lot, but for a collector it's really not. I think it was maybe a little over $100. But I didn't do it, and I looked online the other day, it was something like $400 or something like that. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I'll ever get it now, but you know what, that's okay. I've got Catwoman, and that's really what's most important to me. It's just, she's just awesome. And I do not have the box anymore. I kind of regret not saving that, but again, I'm just not in it for keeping things pristine and in their box. I like having them out and showing them off. Not that many people care about this kind of thing, but I do. So, anyway. I just love it. Yeah, all things Catwoman. And if any of you out there are comic readers, you might know what just happened recently. And that's, I meant to mention this in the beginning of the video, but I'm not a very good planner, and I guess I just kind of forgot. But what inspired me to do this, most of all, over just doing a jewelry video, which I might later, is a recent event in the comics. I don't really follow the comics anymore, I have to admit. I really just, I'll read something if I hear that it's really good or really important somehow, and unfortunately that's rare nowadays, in my opinion, or at least from what I know. I feel like things have taken a real nosedive, and that instead of really good storytelling and character arcs, a lot of, comics nowadays, they're just like, they just use shock value, and, you know, I don't see comics making these like grand political statements anymore, doing something really brave, other than like, you know, I know that there have been like same-sex marriages and things like that, or characters coming out, and I'm all for that, but it just seems like it's just done just to be like, oh hey, look at us, like they're just waving their arms like, see, something's happening.